Like, they're suing me for something I didn't do.
So Jake Paul just got suspended weeks before the biggest fight of his life with none other than Mike Tyson. Set for November 15th, 2024 at the AT&T Arena. All that hype? Yeah, it's blowing up in smoke right now. Jake had the entire boxing world buzzing about this clash with Iron Mike. But in true Jake Paul fashion, controversy came knocking again. Sure, the YouTuber turned boxer has never been a stranger to drama, but this latest bombshell lawsuit? It's taken his whole career down with him. The dude's been hit with a lifetime suspension, and it's all thanks to him being on the juice. You heard me right. Jake's been caught using steroids. And here's the kicker. Mike Tyson is a man known for his integrity. So of course he wasn't about to let this slide. As soon as Tyson found out Jake was juicing, he called the entire fight off. No hesitation. Mike wasn't here for the cheating games. But guess what? It doesn't stop there. The Boxing Commission decided to take it up a notch, dropping a hammer so hard it made Jake hang up his gloves for life. Let's break it down. Let's dive straight into the nitty-gritty. Remember Jake's recent fight against bare-knuckle brawler Mike Perry on July 20th, 2024, in Tampa, Florida. The problem child walked away with a massive win, knocking Perry out cold in the 6th round. But now, just weeks later, that victory is being wiped from memory because Jake Paul wasn't fighting clean. That KO everyone was buzzing about? It wasn't Jake's skills or strength, it was all thanks to illegal substances.
Oh, that's the one.
Right hand. This may be it. Right hand.
So Jake Paul tested positive for not just one, but multiple banned substances in his post-fight drug test. The two substances that came back in his report? Ostarine and 19-norandrosterone. Now, for those unfamiliar, Ostarine is a type of SARM that helps athletes pack on muscle and increase strength. Essentially, it gives them a performance boost that's completely unfair in any sport, but especially in boxing, where strength and stamina can make or break a fighter. And 19-norandrosterone. That's a metabolite of nandrolone, an anabolic steroid infamous for enhancing endurance, speeding up recovery, and building even more muscle. So basically, Jake was juicing up with substances that made him hit harder, recover faster, and dominate in ways he never could have done naturally. This wasn't a simple case of, oops, I took a contaminated supplement. The amount of these substances in Jake's system was way too high for that excuse. This was intentional, calculated cheating. Jake was looking for an edge in that ring, and now it's blown up in his face. But here's where things get even worse for Jake. This isn't just a slap on the wrist like we've seen with other fighters. The Boxing Commission didn't hold back. They hit him with a lifetime suspension. That's right, Jake Paul is banned from boxing forever. No more fights, no more comebacks, no more stepping into a professional ring. His career? Done. It's as if the sport of boxing itself is saying, we're done with you, Jake. Now let's talk about the timing of all this. Jake Paul was gearing up for the biggest fight of his life in November against none other than Mike Tyson. This was supposed to be the fight that solidified Jake as a legitimate force in boxing. Tyson, one of the greatest heavyweights of all time, taking on Jake Paul. The world was watching, fans were hyped. The pay-per-view numbers were set to be insane. But now, it's all gone. Every ounce of hype has gone up in smoke. Why? Because Mike Tyson is not the kind of guy to tolerate cheating, especially in a sport that he helped define. As soon as Tyson got wind of Jake's steroid use, he pulled the plug on the fight. Tyson made it clear, he's not fighting a cheater. Mike's a man of integrity, and he's been through the ups and downs of this sport. He's seen it all, but he's not about to step into the ring with someone who's looking for an unfair advantage. And honestly, who could blame him? Tyson's legacy is built on grit, skill, and power. He doesn't need to fight a juiced-up Jake Paul to prove anything. And just like that, the fight of the year is canceled. The one thing that could have saved Jake's reputation, the one fight that could have given him the respect he craves, is now off the table. But it didn't stop there. The Boxing Commission didn't just take away the Tyson fight. They made sure Jake would never box again. That lifetime suspension? It's the final nail in the coffin for Jake Paul's boxing career. There's no appeal, no second chance. He's done, and there's no coming back from this. Now let's backtrack a bit. Jake's rise in the boxing world has been nothing short of controversial. From his YouTube days to his transition into boxing, Jake has always been a polarizing figure. He's the guy everyone loves to hate, and yet he always managed to stay in the spotlight. But this scandal? this is different. Testing positive for ostarine and 19-norandrosterone isn't just another headline-grabbing controversy, it's career-ending. This is the kind of cheating that gets you blacklisted, not just from boxing, but from any kind of legitimacy in sports. And it's not like this is Jake's first time stirring up drama. His whole career has been one long series of controversies, trash talk, beef with other fighters, and let's not forget the constant social media antics. But this time, the scandal is too big to sweep under the rug. The boxing world has turned its back on Jake Paul, and rightfully so. Let's be real for a second. Jake Paul's overnight transformation from YouTuber to heavyweight boxer has always raised some serious eyebrows in the fight world. I mean, who even makes a jump that big, packs on that much muscle, and starts bagging knockout wins left and right without something fishy going on behind the scenes? You don't just wake up one day, leave behind your YouTube pranks and challenges, and suddenly start knocking out legit fighters like it's no big deal. It takes years of hard work, discipline, and, yeah, natural muscle gain. But Jake? Nah, that kind of transformation doesn't happen naturally. Let's not pretend like we didn't all notice how quickly he bulked up. The dude went from his typical YouTuber physique to looking like a straight-up heavyweight. Now, I'm not saying it's impossible to build muscly, but the speed at which Jockey turned himself into a boxing powerhouse just doesn't sit right. He's knocking out trained fighters, dudes who've been in the game for years, and he's barely been boxing for, 3-4 years? It's not adding up. You don't just come in, dominate, and leave actual boxers stunned unless you've got something shady going on under the surface. Let's face it, Jake's sudden muscle gain and rapid-fire KO wins have been the subject of locker room whispers since day one. Fighters, coaches, and fans alike have all been wondering the same thing. Is this dude legit, or is there something else going on here? And now that we know about the banned substances, it all starts to make sense. That muscle, those knockouts, they weren't earned through hours in the gym or years of grinding in the sport. They were shortcuts, plain and simple. And now Jake's paying the price for it. Oh, and let's not forget about UFC President Dana White. He's been firing shots at Jake for ages about this. Dana's been very vocal, publicly accusing Jake of taking steroids before. He didn't hold back, calling out Jake's rapid transformation and basically saying, "There's no way this is natural." Dana even challenged Jake to take a steroid test if he wanted to prove he was clean, but Jake never took him up on it. Suspicious much? Dana's got a sixth sense for this kind of thing, and he's not letting Jake slide on it. He knows shady business when he sees it. "I believe that you're a cheater, and I believe that you use steroids, so I want to randomly steroid test you for the next 2 years."
I believe that you're a cheater, and I believe that you use steroids. So I want to randomly steroid test you for the next 2 years.
Now let's be honest here. Jake Paul wasn't even taking this fight with Mike Tyson seriously from the jump. We all knew this was going to be the biggest fight of his career, a once-in-a-lifetime chance to square up against an absolute legend. But Jake? Oh no, instead of treating it like the defining moment it could have been, he was too busy cracking jokes and dropping prank videos like it was just another day in the YouTube office. It was like he forgot he wasn't just making content for his subscribers this time. He was supposed to be preparing to face one of the greatest fighters of all time.
Is there anything on this table that you think maybe honestly, no, you don't. I mean, I can feel those times too. No, you don't.
Remember those viral videos Jake posted? Yeah, the ones where he dressed up as some overweight dude, stuffing his face with McDonald's, pretending it was part of his training? Or that time he was lifting fake weights, making it look like he was putting in work when really it was all for laughs? It was ridiculous. Basically, Jake was out here doing everything you're not supposed to do before the biggest fight of your career. And this had half the fight world seriously questioning if Jake even deserved to be in the same ring as Mike Tyson. I mean, come on, imagine getting the opportunity to put on gloves and go toe-to-toe with a legend like Mike Tyson, and instead of focusing on training, you waste it by cracking jokes to build up hype for some cheap pay-per-view numbers. That's not just unprofessional, that's straight up disrespectful to the sport, to Mike, and honestly, to the fans. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see how everything plays out. So, that's all I have for you today. What are your thoughts on this recent scandal? Fill the comment section with your thoughts, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, peace out.